Alright, time for another video, guys. And appreciate you watching. If this is your first time here, please hit that like, please hit that subscribe. If you are returning, I also appreciate a like and subscribe. We have over 381 subscribers, so that's very exciting. I never thought I'd get a handful. I didn't think people cared that much. But there has been a rise in interest in physical media, and I decided that since I never got rid of mine, and I still embrace it for many years, decades even, that I would start making videos on my collection and what I'm adding to it. And sometimes I discuss what I've watched, because I actually try very hard to watch these movies in my collection. But in this video, this is the third installment of a series that I started calling Gifted, because I was gifted a huge box of DVDs from someone I work with, and there were so many titles that I felt like it was too much to be discussed in one video. The genres were all over the place. So in the first video we did TV shows mostly. The second video was wrestling WWE DVDs, which was a tremendous success. I got over 300 views on that one. In fact, up here it says 946 views just a week ago as we were recording this video. And this particular video I wanted to get out ages ago, because we're approaching the tail end of October, and this would have been a much better idea to do weeks ago. But so busy, I just fell behind, and so now I'm trying to squeeze this one out onto the interwebs before Halloween is completely done and we focus on Thanksgiving and Christmas as we finish out 2025. So let's get to it. So in this video, I call it Gifted, Series 3, Volume 3. There are going to be horror movies. I picked out all the horror movies that came in this box, which the guy that I work with, he was admitted a huge horror fan, so a lot of his collection focused on that. And in no particular order, I just have them stacked up here. There might be some that tread a fine line between action and horror. So we will see what we have here, and I already see one here that doesn't count as a horror movie. I don't know how that got in the stack, but it's not an exact science. It's more of an art than a science. So without any further ado, let's get to this stack of DVDs and see what we are adding to the collection in terms of the horror movies. So first up we have Hansel and Gretel. I don't know, this is the movie, I guess, that I don't know if this counts as a horror movie or not. We have Jeremy Renner and Gemma Arterton in this movie. I remember when this came out, it somehow snuck past me. I believe it got trounced by the critics, but I'm learning very rapidly that just because it was trounced by the critics does not make it a bad movie. But it's stuff like that that kept me from watching it for years. I don't know why, but I'm just now coming to grips with the fact that I don't, nor should I ever be caring what critics think, because some of these movies that are trounced by critics are pretty badass. So I'm looking forward to this one. I've never seen it, like I said. So this is the first one in the horror stack. And then we have Wrong Turn 2, Dead End Unrated. I believe I've seen the first one back when they came out, when they were new. I do not know this movie, and I'll probably have to watch the first one to enjoy this one. So I'll track that down. But we're adding Wrong Turn 2, Dead End, the unrated cut, to this stack. And then here's a movie that I have seen part of, but for some reason I never finished it. And it's Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I love a good B movie that really, dare I say, chops up the genres. I just find it very funny that this was even a thing. I remember seeing the trailers for this and laughing about it. And then I do remember watching this. For some reason I got sidetracked. I watched half of it. So I'm glad to actually have this in the collection, and I'll be able to start over and watch it again. And then we have a 4-disc horror collection featuring Let Me In, The Crazies, Apollo 18, and Pandorum. None of these I've seen. I've heard Let Me In is really good, but I've never heard of the other ones. I've heard of Crazies, but I don't know anything about it. So let's hope that these are 4 good ones. I love a good 4-disc set, and it looks like each one has its own disc, so that's cool. Looking forward to that. And then we have the After Dark Horror Fest 4, 8 Films to Die For. Oh, this must be part of a series. It's After Dark Horror Fest 4, 8 Films to Die For. This particular one is Zombies of Mass Destruction. Never heard of it. I believe these are like Shudder movies. So I don't know if this is like supposed to be in a box set that comes with 7 other movies. But we have Zombies of Mass Destruction. I love a good zombie flick. In fact, most of the movies I've watched in terms of October spooky season movies have been sort of zombie-like movies. And here's a movie I have always wanted to watch, so I'm glad that I have it, and I finally have an excuse to watch it. 30 Days of Night with Josh Hartnett and Melissa George. Looking forward to this. Again, I'm going into a lot of these blind. I took a huge time off from watching horror movies. I don't know why. It comes and goes like this. Sometimes I'm up for it, sometimes I'm not. We're adding 30 Days of Night. And then one of the more interesting ones I saw, this is 7 Saw films in one collection, which I really like stuff like this. And I don't mind that they're on regular DVD because I think that some of these horror movies lend itself to a sort of grainier, lower quality look than others. And I love the first Saw movie. I think the first Saw movie sort of reinvented horror. As I'm not as familiar with the other ones, I've seen some of them, and I don't love them as much because when you start getting into torture and something like that, I sort of lose interest. But I thought that the very first one was a complete game changer for me, and I had seen it long after a lot of people had, so I didn't know what to expect. For some reason, I'm able to keep away from spoilers for movies, and I just thought that the first one was really good. I eager to take a peek at these again. I don't know when I'm going to get to them, but I'm eager to have 7 of them. I don't know how many there are total anymore. I've lost track, but I'm eager to revisit these and hopefully be able to stomach some of the later ones. And we have Halloween, the Rob Zombie version, the unrated director's cut. I can't remember if I've seen these. I don't know. I know I've seen the original one. I can't remember if I've seen these. I like the remakes of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre that Michael Bay's production company did. And I also like the Friday the 13th version that his production company did. I think I'm one of the rare few that like that Friday the 13th version. I know that Rob Zombie got a lot of crap for his trilogy of the Halloween films. I can't say either way. I don't know. I don't know. I've seen these things, but they don't stick in my mind, and I don't know if that's what that means. And then here's The Conjuring. I've never seen it. People at work tell me I need to see it. So I got The Conjuring to our films, and I know that they've just rounded out the series in the theater. So if I'm in the mood, I'll give that a look. And then here's another 4-pack cult horror collection: The Funhouse, Phantasm 2, Serpent in the Rainbow, and I used to love the Phantasm movies in my much younger days. Serpent in the Rainbow I remember watching, but remember being really weird I was really young when that came out. And then this with the snakes, I think my dad used to watch this movie. So I'm very, very excited to watch that one again. I love a good monsters or animals run amok type of movie. So this looks like a fun pack to deal with, to revisit. I've never seen The Funhouse. Phantasm 2, I think I saw him, and must have been like 12. So eager to see these again. And this one is not a horror movie. I don't know why it's in this stack. I must have grabbed it accidentally. But real quick, Contraband, Savages, Traffic, and Miami Vice. 4 movies that seemingly have nothing in common except for that they were put up by Universal. They look like they each have their own disc. So that's cool. You can already see one of the discs belongs in one of these other stacks. But I like these movies. There's nothing to do with horror, so we're going to move on. And then here's a Dead Time Stories, George A. Romero. Always a fan of that. This is Volume 2. Oh, I like a good, what do they call these? Anthology set. So those are cool. My dad used to watch Twilight Zone and Outer Limits and stuff like that. And I love Creepshow, the original Creepshow movie, which is an anthology movie. So I will be checking this out for sure. And then we have Jigsaw. This one's still sealed. The Game Continues. Never seen it. Sort of. But by the time this came out, I wasn't watching those at all. And then we have a sequel, 30 Days of Night, Dark Days. I have no idea about this movie, if it's any good, if it lives up to the hype of the sequels. Like, again, I've lived in a sheltered world with spoilers and everything. And then an 80s classic, Fright Night. I have not seen this since, again, I was probably 11 or 12. In the 80s, I rented movies like crazy, and I know this, and I rented a lot of horror movies. Again, really happy to revisit this one. And Bare Bones disc, it's just a disc in there. But this one, definitely going to watch. And then Evil Dead, as much as I like the second one better, I was joking with my buddy that handed me this. I go, hey, do you have a copy of the Evil Dead? And he said he didn't know. He didn't even know what he had. So this is the original Evil Dead when it was made with next to no money, which I really like. But the second one is a thing of beauty. But I'm very eager to watch this and show my son. This one came out in 1982. It's a classic. I mean, it's like, to see where Sam Raimi has gone on to, especially with Spider-Man and everything, is wild. So, very eager to have this in the collection. I know this is probably one of the most re-released movies of all time. It has more versions than just about anything out there. This is the bare bones basic version. I just hope it's in widescreen, if it's even a thing. But ultimately, I'm just happy to have it. And then, one I'm curious to check out because I like the original, or the John Carpenter thing so much. My buddy said that he really liked this, and he's not one to like remakes and sequels and stuff. So he did say it's worth it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not like. There's only one movie that's come out recently that's a remake that was hated from the get-go that I just won't watch, and that's The Crow. I just feel like The Crow is such a monumental movie that to do a remake of any sort is ridiculous. But I give most of these a chance. So I'm looking forward to this. It says from the producers of Dawn of the Dead. And the Dawn of the Dead remake with Zack Snyder directing is actually one of my favorite remakes of all time. But so I'm looking forward to this actually. I just gotta find time. I gotta make time. I gotta take my own words and the other videos I've made about spending time with physical media. I have to take the time to do this because I really want to watch these. Sometimes I just want to spend the whole weekend and watch 4 or 6 movies and go through the collection. But there you have it. I know I went through them pretty fast. Tell me what your favorite is below. Put in the comments. What do you recommend I watch first out of this pile? What are some of your favorites? Again, these are all DVDs. There's no Blu-rays here. But a great collection that I'm actually looking forward to. It's just a matter of making the time to watch them. So, as always, thank you for watching. Please stay tuned for more videos as I'm trying to create more content centered around videos that I'm getting. And hopefully I'll be able to do some where I go whip through a bunch that I've watched. In fact, this past couple weeks during Halloween season, I have watched quite a few. And maybe I should just do a quick recap video of what I've watched and give short thoughts on each one. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please have a great day. Have a happy Halloween. Hope to catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.
I hate goodbyes.